Good morning, students. This is Dr. S. Paridhi, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Business Administration, JJ College of Arts and Science, Pudukkottai. Today, we discuss about Henry Fayol's 14 Principles of Management. Henry Fayol was a French engineer and industrialist. His contribution to management was brought out as a book in English titled General and Industrial Management and was published in 1949. The contributions of Fayol have been discussed under the following headings: classification of business activities, managerial qualities and training, general principles of management, and elements of management. General principles of management. Fayol developed 14 basic principles of management. These are division of work, authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, subordination of individual interest to group interest, remuneration of personnel, centralization, scalar chain, order, equity, stability of tenure of personnel, initiative, esprit de corps. First one is division of work. By this we mean that total work to be done is divided into small parts, each entrusted to a particular individual. To consider an example, the making of a shirt involves a number of activities to be carried out, like cutting the cloth, stitching, button stitching, ironing, etc. All these activities will be performed by different individuals and not by one person under division of work. So, specialization allows the individual to build his experience and to continuously improve his skills. Thereby, he can be more productive. Next one is authority. Authority is the official right of the manager. It comes to him by virtue of his official position. Responsibility is the duty or obligation and the part of his subordinate to account for the work done by him. Authority can be delegated. Responsibility, on the other hand, remains intact with each person. It is never delegated. Even a superior is accountable to his own superior. A person to whom some work is assigned should also be given the requisite authority to carry out his duty. Responsibility without authority will make a person ineffective. Next one is discipline. Fayol calls upon employees to adhere to the agreement reached with the employer in the matter of discipline by being obedient, by applying themselves fully in the task undertaken, by being energetic, and so on. Fayol does not consider discipline to be a one-sided affair. He firmly believes that if the leader is inefficient and worthless, he cannot enforce discipline. Employees must obey, but this is two-sided. Employees will only obey orders if management play their part by providing good leadership. Unity of command. According to this principle, an employee should receive orders from one superior only and is accountable to him alone. If there are two superiors for an employee, he will not know whom he should report to and whose orders he should carry out first. Dual command is a perpetual source of conflict. It will undermine authority, endanger discipline, and disturb order and stability. Each worker should have only one boss with no other conflicting lines of command. unity of direction. This principle says that each group of activities having the same objective should have one head and one plan. It is different from the principle of unity of command, which says that an employee should get orders from one superior only. Unity of direction means that the efforts of all the members of a department must be directed towards the attainment of that departmental target. Next one is subordination of individual interest. Subordination of individual interest to common interest. The interest of the institution is often ignored in favor of individual interest due to such factors as selfishness, ambition, laziness, etc. When there is such a conflict, the interest of the organization should be made to prevail over individual interest. Constant supervision, fair agreement, firmness, and supervisors as role models will certainly help to make organizational interest prevail other individual interest. Management must see that the goals of the firms are always paramount. Next one is remuneration. FIRE holds the view that the remuneration payable to the employees should be fair and should give maximum satisfaction to both the employees and the employers. Factors such as the cost of living, availability of personnel, the financial position of the business, and the general economic conditions will influence remuneration. Whatever be the method of wage payment, it should be fair, should reward hardworking and committed individuals, and should not lead to overpayment. Centralization. Concentration of authority at a particular place is centralization, and dispersal of authority in different places of the organization is what is known as decentralization. The extent or degree of centralization will vary from organization to organization. Decentralization is popular with large business concerns as the manager's orders have to pass through many intermediaries before reaching the subordinates. Small concerns generally prefer to have a centralized setup as the orders of the superior can be directly conveyed to the subordinates. Subordinates generally have to play a greater role in a decentralized arrangement. In this centralization, this is a matter of degree depending upon the condition of the business and the quality of its personnel. Next one is scalar chain. It is the chain of superiors ranging from the highest to the lowest level in the organization. Every communication should follow the prescribed line of authority. A hierarchy is necessary for unity of direction, but lateral communication is also fundamental as long as superiors know that such communication is taking place. Scalar chain refers to the number of levels in the hierarchy from the ultimate authority to the lowest level in the organization. It should not be overstretched and consist of too many levels. Next one is order. Fire talks about two types of order, namely material order and social order. By material order, he means a place for everything and everything in its place. He explains social order by saying a place for everyone and everyone in his place. Material order is necessary to avoid loss of material. It is also necessary to keep the place a place of material neat and clean. Social order ensures the selection of the right man for the right job. The employees should be selected as per the requirements of the job. Both material order and social order are necessary. The former minimizes lost time and useless handling of materials. The latter is achieved through organization and selection. Next one is equity. The principle of equity ensures fairness, kindness, and justice in the treatment of employees by their managers. The managers shall be impartial to their dealings with their subordinate. Equity will help to promote cordial relationship between the workers and the management. In running a business, a combination of kindliness and justice is needed. Treating employees well is important to achieve equity. Next one is stability of tenure of personnel. According to this principle, stability of tenure is necessary for all. It means that an employee shall not be shifted unnecessarily from one job to another. An employee should be given enough opportunity to learn every aspect of his work. Only then he will become an expert in his line of work. If he is frequently transferred from one job to another, he cannot learn any work. Fayol is in favor of stability of tenure for all, and he says that it is even more important for managerial personnel. Employees work better if job security and career progress are assured to them. And insecure tenure and a high rate of employee turnover will affect the organization adversely. Initiative. The freedom of to think and act is what is initiative according to Fayol. An employee who has the freedom to think and act in an organization will show greater interest in his work, and this will lead to a higher level of job satisfaction. A manager who encourages his subordinates to take initiative in doing their work should also become very popular. Allowing all personnel to show their initiative in some way is a source of strength for the organization, even though it may well involve a sacrifice of personal vanity on the part of many managers. Last one is esprit de corps. The work done in any organization is teamwork. Team spirit and cooperation among the members of an organization are essential for its success. Informal relationship among the employees should be encouraged. Such of those employees who show good performance must be suitably rewarded. This will induce them to work with greater amount of enthusiasm. The employees should also have the conviction that the management is really interested in their welfare. Management must foster the morale of its employee. He further suggests that real talent is needed to coordinate effort, encourage keenness, use each person's abilities, and reward each one's merit without arousing possible jealousies and disturbing harmonious relations. These are all the 14 principles of management. Thank you, students.